Let's dive into this. If you've ever found yourself completely frustrated out there on the court, swinging right out of your shoes but still somehow losing the point, well, you're in exactly the right place. So many of us kind of fall into this trap, right? Thinking the absolute secret to winning is just smashing the ball as hard as humanly possible. But as we all know, power without control, it literally just creates unforced errors. So in today's explainer, we're going to talk about flipping that script. We're stopping the reckless hitting, and we're going to start hitting smart. Because smart tennis, it beats reckless hitting every single time. And the crazy part is that it doesn't actually start with your racket. We're going to strip away all those wild swings and focus entirely on the hidden mechanics that actually win you points. Let's get into it. So, what's the actual secret to hitting accurate shots? Really think about that for a second. If we went and asked 100 casual players that exact question, I guarantee 99 of them would start talking about their grip, or maybe string tension, or the exact wrist angle on their backhand. But I want you to completely shift your attention away from your hands and your arms right now. If you're a focused learner trying to seriously elevate your game, we need to ignore those visual distractions for a minute and look at the absolute true foundation of every great shot. And honestly, the answer is way simpler than you might think. Great tennis starts with great movement. It's not just some catchy phrase, it is the absolute prerequisite to winning points. Think about it. You could have the most beautiful, mechanically flawless swing in the entire world, but if your feet haven't actually put your body in the exact right place at the exact right time, that swing is basically useless. To hit with real placement, perfect timing, and heavy spin, you literally have to arrive at the ball efficiently first. Without that correct arrival, a perfect swing is just an illusion. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that we're not just talking about sprinting side to side or having decent cardio. We're talking about pro-style movement acting as your invisible foundation. This is exactly where patience and much better decision-making are born. When you have this foundation built, you're not out there panicking. You know exactly when it's time to attack a short ball, when you need to drop back and defend deep behind the baseline, and how to patiently build a rally. The racket is just the tool that finishes the job, right? Your feet are the architects actually designing the point. This is the ultimate shift from hitting hard to hitting smart. Let's move to the next part and see how this builds, because this foundation actually turns into a highly sequential, repeatable process out on the court. It essentially breaks down into 3 flowing steps. Step 1 is smarter court positioning, so anticipating the play and getting yourself intelligently placed before your opponent even makes contact. Then step 2 involves small adjustment steps as you actually approach the incoming ball. And finally, step 3 is faster recovery, basically springing right back into an optimal spot for the next shot. When you watch the pros on TV, this whole sequence happens so fluidly you almost don't even notice it, but I promise you, it's always there, quietly dictating the flow of the entire match. I want to zero in on the second part of that sequence for a second, the adjustment steps, because honestly, this is where most amateurs go wrong. These are the small, proactive foot movements you make while approaching the ball to guarantee optimal positioning. This is literally where the magic happens. Instead of taking, 3 massive lunging strides toward the ball and just crossing your fingers, you want a rapid, rhythm-based approach. Think of it like a drummer keeping a really quick beat. Tap, 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 plant. These micro movements let you measure your exact distance to the ball, making sure you aren't jammed up awkwardly close or overreaching. It's a highly actionable physical habit you can start practicing the very next time you step on the court. Okay, so once you've perfectly measured that distance, we hit a really critical junction: balance and recovery. And here's the thing, you cannot have one without the other. If you're out there flailing wildly at the ball, trying to generate reckless power, your center of gravity goes completely out the window. You lose your balance. And the second you lose your balance, your recovery time instantly doubles. Staying grounded and perfectly balanced through your strike zone is exactly what lets you push off and recover the very millisecond the ball leaves your strings. So the crucial point when pulling all of this together is that none of these mechanics exist in a vacuum. Smarter court positioning gives you the luxury of taking those small adjustment steps. Those adjustment steps then give you much better balance. And that better balance, it absolutely guarantees a faster recovery. It's this brilliant, self-sustaining ecosystem of movement. When you refine these specific mechanics, you completely eliminate the need to rely on desperate, chaotic shot making. You're no longer just trying to survive the point. You are commanding the whole thing. When you actually compare standard movement with pro-style movement side by side, the contrast is super stark. Standard movement almost always means reaching the ball late. And when you arrive late, your options drop to basically zero. You're forced to hit defensively, you end up hitting wildly, and you just rack up unforced errors. But professional style movement, that lets you reach the ball earlier. And getting that earlier buys you the single most valuable currency in all of tennis: time. You get time to set your feet, read the opponent's side of the court, apply heavy spin, and actually choose the smartest possible placement. Patience and smart choices will absolutely win you more points than sheer velocity ever could. And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate payoff. When you reach the ball earlier because your footwork mechanics are totally locked in, you get consistent accuracy. Not just a lucky shot once in a while, but consistently. You stop hitting hard just for the sake of it, and you really start hitting smart. You end up controlling the rally, dictating the pace, and you can just let your opponent be the one who makes the mistake out of pure exhaustion. This is exactly how you transform from someone who just violently swings at the ball into someone who truly plays the game of tennis. Which brings us right to our conclusion for this explainer, and I want to leave you with a final, provocative question ringing in your ears. Are your feet ready to win the next point? The next time you walk out onto the court, I seriously challenge you to temporarily forget all about your racket. Direct all of your mental focus straight down to your shoes. Really zero in on your positioning, your adjustment steps, your balance, and your recovery. Because I promise you, once your feet are moving like a pro, the rest of your game is inevitably going to follow. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll catch you in the next one.